Hello, happy Crafternoon, everyone. My name is Trisha, and today we are going to paint this Disney princess, paint your own figurines, and we're going to focus on Tiana today. Tiana from Princess and the Frog, and I got this set for Christmas, and I'm told it came from a local Walgreens drugstore, and I cannot find it online to link to you. So I will tell you that I've seen different ones online that had Tiana and Rapunzel, and different ones that had Ariel and Rapunzel or Ariel and Cinderella. Um, so I could not find this exact combination together, but I did find others with these same figures in different configurations. So, I don't currently have those linked in the description below, but I will probably do that and find just the Tiana and just the Mermaid Ariel, because there's some that have the princess human Ariel and some that have the mermaid. So I haven't opened this yet. We're gonna go ahead and get that open. Okay, set that aside. Now it does come with um some brushes and some paints. So there's other tapes. Okay, that's why it's awkward here. Okay. So the figurines are actually plastic, which I didn't anticipate here. So it came with these two brushes. Obviously, anybody who's painted after the age of 10 knows that these brushes are useless. The second brush might be useful, but I think I'm primarily going to be using my own brushes. Jesus. All right. So I'm going to set that right here. That has some potential to be decent. We're going to set that aside. And I'm going to move that over here. Now, like I said, today we're going to paint Tiana, and next week we'll paint Ariel. I kind of appreciate that they're plastic, actually. And this does say copyright 2002, the Terra Toy Corporation. So that can help your search if you're looking for this. They are made by Terra Toys. And pulling out, I think this might be more all for Tiana, whereas this one's more for Ariel and Flounder here. So I'm going to pack that up and set it aside, because like I said, we're going to be working on her next week. And I'm starting... Sorry for that awful ASMR. I'm starting with Tiana because, to me, Ariel is the favorite, and so Tiana is lower stakes. However, I will also say that I have only seen Princess and the Frog one time. And that was like 2 years ago. It was definitely one of my pandemic, can't go anywhere, let's catch up on some Disney movies I've never seen. Watched Princess and the Frog, watched Tangled, and knocked those out. So it does say it comes with a painting guide, which I'm looking for. Ah, okay. It was inside the box. That is helpful, because otherwise I would have been kind of... Okay, so it tells us generally what colors to use. Are these numbered? They are not. The frick. Okay, they're not actually numbered, but that's stupid that they're not numbered. Like, the only thing that says E on the back, which, what? Oh, well. Okay. Being various shades of green, this might be a little difficult. So, okay. This is definitely 7 because that's the hair. This is definitely 8 because that's the skin tone. 7, 8. It does go up to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So if we just start at this side being 7 and go all the way up, or more 7 all the way up, we're good. So then this painting guide actually makes some sense. So I'm going to put that where I can see it. You're not going to be able to see it. And I'm going to adjust my camera a bit so that it is a little closer. All right. So I have my water here for the paint. And I do have a couple of brushes out already. I have this one for the smaller details, which I think I'm actually going to be using kind of a lot because there's a lot of little details on her face. And something I just noticed on these is that there's no let's see if you can see this. There's no kind of like molded detail on the eyes. So that's going to be kind of a challenge to get an eye that doesn't look dead. Frankly, but I think maybe between the other colors for Ariel or some paints that I already have and my dotting tool, I might be able to get the eye. It's just like a big brown dot, a smaller black dot, and then a teeny tiny white dot. So maybe I can pull that off. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. So I want to start with the lightest colors, which actually looks like 9 is the lightest. And that's the sleeves and the middle layer of her dress. So I think a lot of that is bigger and I can use this brush. Or maybe the brush that came with it. I think the brush that came with it. We'll give it a shot first. So let me just turn a little bit of just in the background, and we shall begin. And I will try to monitor for any oops here monitor for any comments that come across. Please feel free to ask your questions, and I will do my best to answer. And if you hear some very subtle snoring, it's because Pixel is with us to my right over here, over there, over there. So there's so she's over there. Okay. So let's. Oh, I should have grabbed like a toothpick or something to stir. I also have some napkins over here. Just some leftover fast food napkins to wipe things off. So I can always, I guess, stir with the back end of this. All right. Come on, man. I appreciate that the tabs are like these, you know, two-sided tabs, but it's not working very well for someone who does not want to break her nails. I need to do my nails, but I decided since I'd be painting, I wouldn't bother refreshing them. So the paint's not dried up or anything. It's nice and wet. Let's just work with what's on the lid for now. And, oh, okay, the middle layers of dress is just these petals. And let me see. I've got two lights now. Let me see if turning one like down helps the definition. Oh, it does. Okay. Maybe you can see a little more. It's a little more defined and not so washed out now. So just these petals are this middle dress layer color. That over there. This middle dress layer color. The sleeves are this color. And I think the petals up here are this color and probably, so it generally tells me what colors things are, but like exactly is a little iffy here. Okay. Just move my, oh great. I loaded my paintbrush with paint and then I hit one of my lights. Oh well. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the glove. As you can see, this paint is really, I don't even know what the word is, like thin, but it's not thin. It's not actually thin. I don't know. It's just like runny, ill pigmented. I don't know. Because there are like many different, these are the exact right shades and such. For this, I am trying to use these paints and not my own paints. But these are going to take multiple coats to get any kind of consistent opacity. And I don't, I had mentioned on various socials and whatnot that we would be doing some acrylic painting. And it occurs to me, I don't actually know if these are acrylic paints. I don't think the box says what they are. I mean, they seem to be working fairly similar to acrylic paints, but I don't know what they are. And because I'm starting with the lightest color, I'm not like super concerned about some of the overage over here. The overage over here. But I do have some very tiny, like, I'll show you. Let me just pull a couple out. So I got these like very tiny brushes, swabs from Timu. So if I do get a paint somewhere it doesn't belong, I can kind of wipe it up with a little bit of precision. But yeah, okay. So that is one arm. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is painting the smaller parts, going for the big ones, and then coming back with another coat once it's dried a bit. It's so not pigmented on some, but it also might be because of the white base. 'Cause feel like I had the same issue when I painted Norma the gnome. Was that the white base made for actually like multiple layers of color to be necessary, more than I anticipated. So the layer of the dress. Okay. And then just these big petals, which I'm thinking I will switch brushes. Oops. That. Okay, moving on to the middle dress layers. These are the same number 9 color. Good fit. It's a little more visible in like the bigger swatches, swaths, bigger areas, but it definitely will need a couple of coats for that to be anywhere near the color it's supposed to. Looking at the painting guide, the color that is going to be going on this part of it, the bottom dress layer, doesn't look like it's all that different in the picture, but I can see in the pot it does look, I can see the difference. It's slightly darker. As a general rule of thumb, when you are painting, probably best to start with the lightest colors, because then if you need to paint over them to correct something, you can go with the darker colors and they'll be more comfortable. That's the general idea behind starting with this lightest color. But like I said, I am going to use this little swab to kind of clean up a little bit if I go crazy off the rails. Like that was pretty crazy off the rails. I get like my hand in it? No. That's some like errant way over here. I don't know how that. do kind of wish I did have better paint in these colors because I don't know that I would have such a or such a pigmentation issue with a true like acrylic paint. Although I don't think this isn't acrylic paint. It's just I don't know. Like it's so weird because it's like the color is watered down. The paint is nice and thick. So I don't know. I'm hoping that a few thin layers will do the trick since I can't get thick layers. I'm just so used to one coat nail polishes that it's challenging. It didn't say there needed to be any prep on the plastic, but for the Ariel, before I start it, I might wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol or something, just to make sure it's absolutely ready to go. So, I don't know how long these were sitting on the shelves at the store. I know I have personally had it sitting on my shelf since December. So I don't think that generally causes any issues. You did see the packaging. The packaging is pretty solid. So if I'm painting and you can't see it because my dumb ass is painting it too low, holla at your girl, and I will do what I can to fix it. I'm not experiencing any dirt or dust on this. I just don't know if there's like manufacturing residue that might be problem to stick well, would be consistent. It could also be that, frankly, I am a grown adult with higher art and craft standards, and I think this kit said 3+ in terms of age. I can tell you, if I let a 3-year-old paint this, it would look like a horror show. Honestly, I'm so green on figure painting, it still might look like a horror show, but I hope not. My fingies is crossed. Put it that way. So the vines are going to be a much darker green. So I'm not doing a whole lot to avoid the vines. There's not a whole lot I can do to avoid the vines. So I'm definitely going to have to paint the vines with a smaller detail brush anyway. doing that second coat on this leaf of the middle dress definitely looks better than how they look out. So I'm going to go back to my smaller brush that came with the kit and go back over these smaller areas up here with a second coat on the super duper long glove. It is kind of a challenge working with this and trying not to paint on places you're not painting yet, like the overskirt. Because you do have to manipulate it with your hands. You don't have any kind of fancy stand or anything that would keep this both in frame for the camera and at a place where I can see it enough to paint it. So I'm very nearsighted, and so I have glasses that help me see far away. But the thing is, when I bring things closer like this, I often have to take my glasses off and bring them on really right up to my eyes. So right now I have my glasses on, and it's just far enough away that I think it's fine. You can see it, I can see it, but you know, it is a little bit of a compromise for me in terms of being able to show you what I'm doing and doing it, so to speak. I had mentioned in a previous stream that I would be upgrading my StreamYard, and I would probably at that be able to stream with a little higher quality and multiple cameras. Well, I then realized that that is an even higher level of StreamYard than I am prepared to upgrade to at the moment. That's not actually happening. So right now we're limited to 720p with in terms of the stream quality and a single camera. So that's why I don't have a better camera. I did get, as you know, an HDMI video capture card for my DSLR. I just did not have the timer. Excuse me, the timer energy to set that up. Probably hear pixel complaining over there. As she is wont to do. We've got a second coat on the gloves, a second coat on the bonnets, the first coat on the tiara. Coat on the tiara. And go in for the second coat on the petals, the dress petals. I started with this one. That one already has a second coat. Like the second coat is where the brush strokes are really gonna matter and be more visible in terms of like their direction and how they are how just stunted or natural they might be. So paying a slight closer attention to how the brush strokes are looking on this second layer. I still think I might go in for a third, in which case again the brush strokes on this layer wouldn't matter so much, but I'm unsure right now, so I don't want to do that and risk. I mean, on camera you can see there's a big difference between the second layer painted and the first layer in terms of color density. In IRL, it's I can see the difference, but it's not quite as stark as it looks on camera. But it's doing something, so I'm happy about that. Now, I did get this like kind of way up on the other leaf. Oops, the other leaf of her dress. So I am going to use my little swabby swab here. Try to get some of that off. Some of it already dried, so it looks like I'm got it. It's okay. As I was going to my water, wash off the little swab, I hit her hair. That's fine because her hair is the darkest color. It's black, so I'm not overly concerned. I don't know, like, I mean, these came in a gigantic, like, 50 count, 100 count, something like that. So I don't know how much I can wash them off and expect them to work, but I'm trying. Where did I leave off? I think I left off there. All right. Just, you can see, yep, cool. Yeah, of course that's where I left off. That's the I'm not sure like why the difference between the second coat and the first coat is so stark. I almost want to say it might just be that this plastic or even when you're painting on, like when I painted Norma, the full dancing gnome, that ceramic was pretty finished. It was not very porous, and so it's very slick. And I think it's just like how I buff my nails before painting them. You need a little bit of like traction for that paint to stick really well. That's my theory anyway. So once you're doing the second coat, there's the texture of that first coat to give it some grip. I am hesitant though to go so far as to like taking sandpaper to this and buffing it or anything, because I don't I only know enough to be slightly dangerous with this painting stuff, so I don't want to uh, go too far with that. And my intention, because I am not a huge, like I said, the Princess and the Frog once, I stand Lottie. She's the best Disney Betsy. And yes, that's over Flounder. Because she's just all about, like, yeah, she wants her prince and everything, but at the end of the day, she is ride or die for Tiana. I'm here for it. It's great. And, like, honestly, let's look at the time frame of this movie. So, Princess and the Frog is in New Orleans in what looks like the 20s based on the fashion, maybe the 30s. It might be a little past the 20s because it's not. There's some flapper girl-ness, but it's a little more refined. So 20s or 30s. And Tiana, by all accounts, works for Charlotte's dad. She has no insight. She could be the prettiest little stuck-up snob, and nobody in the annals of Disney movies would question it. We have wicked stepsisters, and huntsmen, and evil stepmothers. Like, we got all manner. Maleficent, whatever the hell she was wanting to be a godmother, I don't know, to Sleeping Beauty, like cursing her instead. We got all manner of shady, shady folks in Disney movies that are closely related to by by marriage or birth to the princesses. So for Lottie to just be like super chill, like, yeah, girl, I got you, when Tiana's literally like the hell, that's pretty great. Like, give me a Disney follow up series that's all like Lottie being cool, but like also fun. I'd be here for it. So, trying to kind of clean some of the brush strokes here a bit. There's big strokes on this big front part, but I don't think there's much I can do about that for now. Go back in this bigger brush on her tiara. Get both both sides there. So let's kind of stop, wash the brush off, and compare these two together. So uh-oh, I knocked that over slightly. So we've got we've got this Tiana, we've got our Tiana. All right, I think maybe one more coat of the yellow. I just realized that their Tiana is not posed like the figurine. The figurine has this arm extended. The figurine has the arm like folded in here for what ends. Let's go one more coat on this lightest yellow before we call it and move on to a different color. Trying not to get the yellow kind of settling in between the fingers in a weird way, but I'm also not sure I can really avoid it with the way this paint is. So I can only do so much. All right with that arm. This arm. I'm really hoping I can clean up a lot of these edges when I go in with the next slightly dark. And probably slightly nicer brush. Although this does come to a nice point, so it's not terrible. Pretty decent for a brush that came with this set. That wasn't that black bristle knife. Those are just like, I know they're cheap as all get out, but come on, what are you doing? Nobody can paint anything and have it look good with these. They're good for like sun catchers where you're just trying to like fill in an area with paint and not necessarily like get it detailed, like you have very clear margins, so to speak. But alright, got that, and go on the middle arm, and those. I was a little concerned when I figured grab the pots because the way the head is attached is kind of like, it looks kind of like a bobblehead, and it's not, which is good, but it's weird. It doesn't seem to be as singularly molded as your take a second here to get this off my hand or around, avoid it elsewhere. Yeah, and then one more coat on the petals of the middle dress layers. I think we're ready to move on to probably number 12, which is the bottom of the dress. It looks like the flower is also 12. The vines are 11, but the flower is a lighter color. So it's like 3 coats of each color might be where we have to be or get close to it. So that is good to know. And it's actually easy for me to remember that it's 3 coats because when you go to Color Me Mine and paint, and I was mentioning this earlier, how these are very non-porous with the paint in them, and maybe that's what you need, like that first coat for the texture, something for the paint to grip better. Um, the ceramics at Color Me Mine are very uneven, and you're painting them with the glaze that they're going to fight. So it's very different than using a finished piece of ceramic that's been fired with paint afterwards. So those really like suck up the paint and it dry or the glaze rather, and it dries very quickly. And so it's not quite easy to do these coats, but you do have to do at least 3 coats to the darkest saturation of the color. In some instances, you might want a lighter color and be okay with just one. Um, be okay with just one pass with the glaze, but it is all depending on what you want out of. I tend to go for the very vibrant glazes and really want to do all the 3 coats to get it happy and nicely set. I'm glad her dress is green and that these are or green and yellow, and that these are most definitely like supposed to be flower petals or like because as I paint them, like if I were painting them pink, they would definitely look like tongues, and that would be weird. We don't want the last panel. Art. Once again, I'm trying to like be mindful of the brush strokes, biggest area. All right, now that's starting to look like some color. Okay, joke center there. Um, my brush. And like I said, move on to 12 color. Excuse me, minus. This was 9, 10, 11, 12 is this color. And I like, and there's plenty, hold on, but there's still plenty of pink. So if I wanted to go back to like a third coat, I totally could. Or I mean, sorry, fourth coat, I really could. But I don't think it's necessary. I think we are set with our 3 for now. And some of these darker colors are probably going to be more pigmented and not need 3 coats. They may only need 2. And I think they'll definitely need 2 just because of you need that first coat to kind of give it some texture to stick to, and then you need the third coat, or I'm sorry, the second coat to beef up the pigmentation. Get all that going. Okay, so I'm gonna move that slightly out of my way. Leave this here. I'm gonna use I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot with the kit brush on this bottom part and see how it goes. So let's 1 sec. I'm going to kind of adjust my lights and my mic so that it's more very directional mic. So I have to make sure my face is in front of it. And I think I do want a little bit more light. Maybe let's give that a shot and see how well it works. Okay. Let's start here since most of that is already started to dry. And first pass, it's not looking much different, but this is also one coat versus 3 coats. So I think 3 coats of this will definitely give a better idea of the subtle contrasting color. Like, it's not, like I said, in the picture, it looks like it's the same color. If it didn't have this painting guide with telling me that 9 is the middle layers, 12 is the bottom layers, I probably would have just used one color for all of it. I'm glad the painting guide is there so that I do know which ones to go with. But yeah. I don't know, like in the picture it doesn't show, but there's this like base that's not part of her dress. But I'll probably end up painting black at the end because it's not part of her dress. I want a nice delineation. Um, or maybe I'll use my, actually, I don't know about black. Maybe I will use my acrylic paint it like a nice Kelly, like really bad green. Because the darkest green that comes with the kit is this one, 11, and that's for the vines and stuff. And not quite, it might work. I'll try it. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you can hear Pixel crying, but nobody has said anything to her in a year. This bitch. Put your bitch in. Does this all the freaking time. Oh, yikes. Little prima donna plug. At least I'm getting a lot of this on my hand here. Trying to best figure out the best way to hold this so that I'm not doing that. But normally when I stream, she is hanging out outside in the hubs in his shop, but he is not here today. So hanging out inside with me, presumably until he gets home and goes inside. We have like a shop out back. It's like man cave and has his craft stuff out there with his 3D printers. He has it's an Qubit resin 3D printer. He actually had 3 3D printers because he had a resin 3D printer that was smaller. And then for Christmas with some really great deals. And bonus, he upgraded to a bigger print size. And I think it's still an model of resin free printer. And then he has an ender free, like filament spool 3D printer that works for kind of less detailed things. Like I did the short a while back, painting the sleepy little dragon, and that was something that he printed in resin, and it was nice and smooth and easy to paint. But I have painted things that he's printed in plastic as well on the Ender 3. And sometimes they just need like an extra coat of sanding before you get to paint. So it's just, but they're more porous than like this kind of plastic. Really? So we are done with our first coat of that. Like I said, I think the flower is also wet. So what I'm going to do with the flower is definitely switch to the smaller detail brush. Because the flower is definitely a tinier proposition to angle here. Oh, there we go. Alright. Pushing my mic back just slightly so I can get the face behind the camera a little closer to this. I'm being as precise as I can be, but also at the same time, a lot of the color around it is darker. So I'm mostly looking for the preciseness around where it comes in contact with the light color that I already paint. Alright. Alright. All right. I look like I've just been like quality falling. The color of yellow, yellow green. Yeah. So I started here, go in, go number two. And it is, you can see a differentiation in color starting with the second coat. I started to say earlier, I think I hit something or got distracted, but my intention with this is actually to give it to a friend who is a bigger Princess Frog fan. That's up, see what I can do. This is going to be pretty imprecise down here in the middle skirt. Just because the colors are so similar that I'm kind of like, do I need them to be the crispest, sharpest lines? Probably not. The place that I'm really the most concerned are those crisp, sharp lines in the face. We'll see. Maybe I should use this brush for the middle petals too, just because even though it can get into more point, the brush strokes seem to be less based on the shape of the brush. It's just something I'm gonna learn with different brushes, shapes, and things like that. No, absolutely no kind of formal training is what does what? What is the best for what? I mean, I started with some pretty janky, crazy art, crazy craft, whatever, like Walmart brushes. And sometimes they really just do work the best for what I need them. But also, also, being able to expand into more pricier tools that so I I tend to follow the Adam Savage mantra that which is basically, if you think something, start with the cheapest version of it, and then if it really is something that you find yourself using a lot, that really is helpful to your process of whatever you're making, get the best one because then you kind of prove the concept that it's something you will buy and use and get uh, keep your money basically. Because it would just be terrible, for example, if you went and bought like the highest end jigsaw you could buy and then found out that you don't actually enjoy doing that much detail work that would need, or I'm sorry, I said jigsaw, I meant scroll saw. There's a difference. Scroll saw's much smaller. You could buy a scroll saw thinking, oh, I'm going to do all these intricate little cuts, and then find that, I don't like doing them, so I don't do them, so I don't do projects. And then you spend all this money on a high-end scroll saw that you don't use. Why I think sites like Temu are great. I can get a very basement price item, give it a shot, and if it's something that I use a lot, if the $2 one breaks, then I know it's something I will definitely want a better version of, and we'll spend the money for a better version. There was a tweet in recent memory from the YouTube creator Ian Runkle, and he said something about he does leatherwork, and he said something about you don't realize how crappy your tools were for a project until you get a set of really nice tools for a project, and he's not wrong. Sometimes you're just using what you have because you have it, and so you don't want to spend to get something else. But if you were to spend to get something else, you see that um, that's different in the tools that you're using. So, and I think that's something you could understand between painting these and painting like Color Me Mine, where you're using a high end glaze and it's going to be fired and shiny and amazing and durable versus getting a finished ceramic piece and then just painting it. It's generally matte. It's unless your paints are very glossy, it's generally matte. It's not going to have that high shine factor. It's just going to be different, and you're going to need multiple coats to get it to where you want it. So, I believe this is a third coat of 12 on the big underskirt. And you can see the color difference for sure. It is subtle, but you can see. I'm pretty happy with that in terms of, looking at it on painting guide and box. It's also very subtle. So I appreciate it. It doesn't look like it's just six more coats. It's definitely darker as it dries. And it's looking subtle but distinct. The other thing I really like about this set, which I will talk about more next time when we paint Ariel, but I appreciate this set because it's outfits actually worn by the characters. And I cannot stand the reimagined princesses that they did in like the, oh gosh, what was it? It was like the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're when they first started like lumping them all together and calling them branding, and they gave them like this weird kind of more glam look, a little more like makeup on, in like Cinderella, or and a little Sleeping Beauties. Ariel looked pretty. Some of the like older princesses from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, they were definitely a little more zhuzhed up. Ariel was pretty much the same in the face, maybe a little like, but they put Ariel in this dress. Ariel has four outfits. In the, there's Mermaid Ariel that looks the same all the time. Mermaid. Sorry. There's also canvas sail Ariel, which first is on land. So that's another one. And then there's Ariel in the blue and white dress, Ariel in the pink poofy dress, and Ariel in the wet dress. You know what I didn't say there? I didn't say green. There's no green dress. So that annoys me. And it annoyed me in like 2015 when we went to Disneyland. We went to California Adventure back when it was the Lamplighter Lounge, I think. And then it was, or maybe now it's the Lamplighter Lounge. It's like when you go to Pixar Pier, uh, from like the main entrance, it's that restaurant right there. So when we went in 2015 for the 60th anniversary celebration, it was still called Ariel's Broadway. And it was like a princess meet and greet. And we went there, and it was hashtag not my Ariel because it was the green dress one. I was disappointed. They have everybody come down the stairs, stop, take their picture with Ariel, and then go to their tables. But it's like, so Ariel's posted in this one area. You couldn't have Mermaid Ariel? You didn't have food. You didn't get up and walk around. Come on, man. So I think with the three coats of the bottom, it's a good enough contrast. good moving on. All right. So 10. Okay, so it does say the tiara was 9 and 10. I missed that before. So I did get 9 where I suspected it should be up here on the big leaves. Then 10 is the top layer dress. So 19. I'm gonna break it down. Open these up. I'm so pleased. All right. So now we are 2 colors down. We've done 12. We've done 9. Now we're to 10. And then 11 is going to be the dark. Well, 11 for the vines. And then we're going to go 8 for the skin and 7 for the coat. That's going to be. Now, because we're at 10, I think I'm going to start with the tiara. This is the smallest little piece. I can start with my little detail brush, which, yes, I did just put it in my mouth to get it to the point. That's why I washed it off really well. In between, because that is a habit that's hard to break. All right, let's see. I should put her on the lazy Susan. It is, after all, why I got this. Sorry if you popped out a bit more, but I need like to see the edge here. I'm glad I did that because I was sticking it here. And now I can see the bigger area than initially. Trying to be a bit more careful with this, even though we will be able to hide it with her black hair. But I also don't want to rely on that because I don't want the black hair to then go over the sand. Alright, I think that's good for now. Yeah, we are ready on skirt. So I think actually I'm going to use this little brush again just to get like around the detailed parts and spread that out. And then I can use the bigger brush to get the wide swaths. I just back to my brush up. see if I can use my light in a way that it helps me more, but doesn't wash out detail for you. Because with all this down here, I really don't want to touch that. That's why I'm more keeping it on the lazy Susan and spinning it, then picking it up. I want to make sure you can see it. Otherwise, what's the point? Alright, that's pretty good. Maybe I'll just keep holding her by her hair and face for now, so that I can kind of turn. See. More detailed work here. To rinse off the detail brushes. That you dip them back in too many times and they lose their point. Which is but they lose the point, their point, which is the point. You need to get back in there. She washed out. So I'm doing what I can to optimize the lighting for the book. Pixel, you're so put out. Calm it down, lady. It ain't that serious, dog. Goodness gracious. Alright, I am almost done going around the little details. to form that like margin. Yeah, I think I'm at the point where the little details are decently margined off or followed, and I can switch to larger brush. This whole area back here is green, so I want to do it with this brush, to be honest. Let me go for the bigger areas. This is going to take more coats anyway. Oh. Alright, that big petal, got that. Now let's get this big petal. Grab the red of the face again. Or head in general, I should say. Move my water cup again so I can get a better angle on this. Yeah, this is definitely like the biggest, broadest, smoothest area. Definitely gonna need multiple coats. Right now, I'm just trying to make sure there's not like globby streaks in the paint. Might affect the underlying coat. Like I had with these in the middle of the underdress. But there was a couple of like more globs that I needed to even out. Oh, got a lot in that mess. Didn't mean to. That's the thing when you're doing like multiple coats, they can be pretty thin. Each coat, you don't need a whole lot. Especially if my theory from before is correct, that the first coat is really more like laying down a base texture for the subsequent layers to better adhere to. Yeah, and I've got a massive green. Whoop, perfect. I mean, it's looking good so far. like Tiana. Alright, here is a issue. Gotta use this one to get that green paint up here. Up here. Oh no. I also have this little crevice that I'm gonna be kind of sloppy with because it's gonna be painted a darker green, so it's not super mission critical. Alright, almost done with the basing of this first layer of color. Then, before we move on to like the next big basing, I'm going to go back in with the kit brush and get the unders of the leaves. Get in there. It's something you don't necessarily like notice on first pass, but I do. I feel like I'm getting everywhere trying to see these. So I'm going to use black little swab to help clean up in those petal crevices if I go too hard and hit the yellow petal. That I've already done a couple of times. Part of it is that I am what I am in my painting skill level. Part of it is going a little faster than perhaps I should. And I think the other part is just kind of nerves doing it on camera, but not really nerves so much like I am hypercritical of what I'm doing because I'm showing you what I'm doing. So it's kind of difficult to just do it and be okay with how it's coming out, which is actually tell you, oh, also, not there. Tell you a secret. Part of why I do these as live streams is so that I can't be critical. Oh, God. Probably have to go back to yellow texture, cover that up. I seem to have a good grip over my hair right now. So yeah, so part of why live stream it is because I feel like if I were to film everything and then go back in to edit it, most of it would not be released because I would end up being way too hyper critical of how it turned out and would just decide not to release it. So we are going on this adventure. Going on this adventure together. That's the problem. I think I really should be using this much smaller brush to get underneath than the kit brush. It's more just learning by it. I think I got most leaf undersides. I'm gonna go back. Alright. This is why I have this like silicone mat down here because it didn't wash off this brush. And in my hand moving over here, it got paint everywhere. So just taking a quick moment to wipe that up, try to avoid getting that paint on the figure. I don't know. Okay. All right. So we're still working with number 10. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a second coat on the tiara. really wish the paint were a little more pigmented for these very small details, because I'd love to not have to do multiple coats once I got it once, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, oh no, man. What's on my lap? Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I used a mute that I don't normally use on my little soundboarding thing. So it seems to be working now. Okay. So let's zoomed it. By zoom, I mean I moved the camera out a little bit. I think I was a little too down in there for you to see quite all of what I was doing. All right. I'm seeing as well, she has a neck. It's very hard to see, but at some point I'll have to paint that as well. But let's continue on with the green, which is like her signature. It's a signature green. Okay, that is good. Um, the coat, like it could be a little better down here. Next panel. Not going onto the bottom because, like I said, I think I need that very tiny brush for the bottom. So I'm just trying to hit the top of these petals, and I will get to the bottom later. And on these, I'm trying to like blow the paint kind of in the general shape of the leaf toward the bottom. Because then I feel like if there are like more paint lines that are visible, then at least they are kind of going in the right flow, in the right direction of where they should be going. Got That's the thing too, like just a wet brush can help clean up those errant spaces right when you get them. But I'm also going to use this smaller area that I wouldn't use that giant. That's not a big. I shouldn't call it a giant brush. It's not at all a giant brush. But comparatively, it is a bigger brush. This one for wider areas, and even I think this is too big for this area here. Yeah, little brush again. Get in this like leaf crevice on the top of her GA. Up here, where I have my fingers all over her face, is where we want the most definition, for sure, and the most detail. That is the top coat, broad coat, number 2. I'm going to kind of touch the yellow now. It's still drying. I can get into the back detail on her dress a little better, being able to move it around a bit more. Okay, that's better. And once again, I'm going to keep getting right in the crook of my hand. So I'm trying to be mindful of that and watch where how I'm holding it, that it's transferring off. Better at that. Because I am relying so much on my non-dominant left hand to twist this around, though, might not always be possible, but we're gonna try. Okay. Rinsing that really good before putting it in my mouth. I'm pretty sure if this is like for ages 3 and up, then this paint is probably definitely non-toxic. But that doesn't mean I want a mouthful of it either. Just for good measure. Yeah, that's working. Get the underleaves. Too much underskirt there. Rinse that off. The water. Get the excess. Oh, shakalaka. Alright, that worked well. Back to green. Do just little tiny details for one coat would be fantastic, because just because I can get it in there once doesn't mean I'm good enough to get it in there a second time. Yes, crisp and sharp. This is, yeah, that was the last way around for the second coat of that. So I'm gonna give her a little break for a minute. Let that dry down a bit more. Keep some of the paint off my hands. We are going to take a 45-second intermission. So, shall return. Thank you for bearing with me while taking that short intermission. Okay, so coming back to this, we've done our 3 coats of 9, number 9 on the petals, 3 coats of number 12 on the bottom layer of the dress, and 2 coats of 10 on the top dress layers. So, I am going to do a final coat on the top dress layers, and we're going to do it the same way with the big brush to do the big wide swaths, the medium brush to get in the crevices and clean up, and the small brush to do the little tiny details. So, have comment. Looks great already. Well, thank you, Moises. Appreciate it. And we are getting into it. I'm not sure. So we've been going for a couple hours here. I don't know if we're going to get to her upper torso and that detail work. I might have to do that on a stream later, maybe later this week, because I didn't realize how many coats all of these would need. Or I might just finish it off camera. I don't know. It depends. There's definitely plenty of paint in this set to sufficiently paint these. That's my biggest pet peeve with craft sets sometimes, is when they skimp on the supplies and you have to find your own to complete. Because generally speaking, I'm not averse to buying craft supplies, of course. It's like a second hobby on top of the actual crafts. But if you buy a kit, there's an expectation that everything you need to complete that project is contained within that kit. And so if you run out of something, you run out and you usually don't need much to finish it. So, like these greens, for example, if I ran out of this pale specific to Tiana color green, I would hate to have to run out and get a full bottle of this green in this very precise color that I may not use on anything else to finish this project. So I appreciate that even though they're little pots of color, it does seem in the painting and knowing how many coats are needed, that there is going to be plenty of paint to get all these coats. We could probably do even more coats if we really absolutely felt the need to. I don't really feel the need to. Sorry, I'm trying to get up in those areas. Back to, like, this is the one that's probably like the most used so far, but it's also the top layer of the dress, so I'm not surprised that it's the most used, being the most visible part. The most visible part, and like honestly the most recognizable part of the character, is this green leaf overlay portion of her princess, yeah. Because she has a lot of other looks in the movie. Like there's there's a few different looks pre-frog transformation where she is, server at the birthday party for Lottie. She's in a kind of orange outfit. She's all singing "Almost There." There's the baby, the little girl outfit. So she's got quite a few different looks throughout the movie. this is her like full transformation at the end of the movie. Princess moment to shine gown, and the one that's like marketed as the, like the official Disney princess gown. So this is the one everybody's gonna recognize. To actually, uh, maybe I'll be able to finish, because maybe the black and brown will be super way more pigment. Not sure, but I am also getting text messages about a friend going out to a specific store and getting me some stuff from that store a couple hours away. So I definitely may have to take a break again. But it is was my intention to get this all finished before wrapping this up. All right, let's go back and get the, the, the undercarriage petals, as I've been calling them. I'm going to do this. See, it's definitely like, uh-oh, shit. I just pushed like, well, I don't know what was inside, what was blocking that, but I just pushed it back in. This. Actually, because it's like a smaller area, these don't necessarily need this third layer. Ooh, ah! Seriously, sometimes I frustrate myself with how obvious this method probably was. To stick something up there and hold on to it with paint, and how long it took me to come to it. But whatever. We're here now. I believe I was saying before that because this is a smaller paint surface area, and it is less like mission critical to the piece. Like some of these big swatches are would be a little more annoying if I didn't paint them, but like these, big undercarriage pieces. But I think a lot of these undercarriage pieces don't need necessarily like a fully like a full ass third coat underneath. They just kind of need a little bit of zhuzh. And I think actually now that I've got this on this ink like this, I might also go back and redo some things in those first leaves. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with another coat up here. Right. I'm not going to bother with another coat up here. That's no. I'm not going to bother with another coat up here. I'm just going to leave that. And then, yeah. So that is 10. And like I said, I'm going to go back to the middle dress layers. Shove this back inside and get some more. Get some of these parts here where I see that it either like came off on my hands or I just maybe didn't get it the first time because I was not at a good angle of attack. Trying to get that green off of this petal. And I think I can also just kind of mix it with the yellow and minimize it. I feel like I want to do one more coat of the light, but I don't know. Maybe I don't need it. I just think I do. It's also trying to like, even though like the adages you can go back over, you mess up with the light, you can then go over with the dark. Sometimes you get the dark into the light, there's still a decent enough way to fix it. I think it's looking pretty good. I feel like now there's too big of a discrepancy between the middle and lower petal colors. And I think that's why I feel like I need to do another coat. But I'm going to try to just practice restraint there and maybe just do the second or fourth coat up on the bodice detail to make it a little more like inner petals of her top bottoms. I'm seeing that I don't think I got really into her fingers that are kind of tucked under her chin that well the first time. Her whole back, her glove got a little overlapped on there. Alright. I like that. And I feel like that's all the touch up that number 9 really needed. I don't see any touch up needed for 12. Bottom layers. I think we are ready to move on to 11, which is the finest color, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing exclusively with this tiny brush. Because that is small detail. Open up, you. There we go. Jiminy. All right. Lady. So, something I'm noticing. So here's the drawing, right? And you can't really see her hair behind her tiara. But I do see the necklace. And the necklace that is molded on. You can see it there. And also, it looks like there is a scrunchie around her, like the base of her ponytail. But I don't know if that's canon, so to speak. So I don't think I'm gonna paint that. I think I'll skip that, but I will do the necklace. The necklace looks like it was yellow. But I think what I might do, I might paint the necklace with this yellow and then paint her skin. Try to avoid the necklace. But then I might come back to the necklace with like my acrylic paint. It's a little slightly more pigment. Alright. So actually that would be great. Okay. I'm gonna set that aside and I'm gonna use this kind of just to stabilize her. She's stable against that. And then this, I can paint the vine. It is a lot harder with this small brush to do a thin, base layer that's not super brush strokey because the brush is so small and really pointed in in the way that it is. But I'm trying. Being able to kind of, for lack of a better term, roast Tiana here is definitely helping. Although I have like the bristles on this brush are kind of blown out a little bit, so I have a damp part of my paper towel my napkin over here that I'm trying to kind of repaint it with periodically because I don't want to put the paint in my mouth. I'm trying to avoid that. Like sometimes you're just so out. See that little like kick out there? Probably not. You can see it too small. But there's like the one like not quite long enough so it doesn't stay in the root. Kind of goes off on its own a little bit. But I know that like, there's just times where you're painting along and not really paying attention and you're like, oh, I need to get a better head on this brush. Shove it in your mouth. Try to avoid it. Just because the paint is non-toxic doesn't mean I want to eat it. I have no desire to end up on a TLC reality show about eating. I really wish this one were more pigmented because, like I said, trying to get these little details, these little nooks. Like, there's basically no way I'd be able to do this well with the kit brush. And I really wish I could just do one pass of it and be done. Because look at all those brush strokes. Uh, they're annoying me. And I hope I can. I hope there's something to be done about them when I go in for a second coat. Like going in for a second coat on like the line itself, real annoying. It's gonna be real annoying. It's hard to get. Just get paint on it in the first place. Not look like this. it gonna? This is what I should have done. I was down here because it's so like small details. I was kind of unafraid to get the yellow paint on it. And what I honestly should have done was got the yellow paint all over, because then it's acting as that textured layer to keep, because then it's acting as that textured layer for the paint to stick to, or the dark green. So I should have just gone ham with the yellow, knowing that I could use it as a base layer for green to stick to. Ugh. I hate how streaky that looks. It's like, you see how streaky that looks in comparison? Ugh, so annoying. Stick out of your butt. Oh, oops, wrong one. Thank you. It is, I mean, the detail is both the part I like and the part that is the most intimidating, which is why I didn't paint any figurines before very recently, because I was just not confident enough with those details to get it done. I'm still not, let's be honest, but I'm better and I'm going to try. So sometimes all one can do. All right. The other thing too is that they give you one color for her skin, but not another color for her mouth, which is kind of rude. So that might also be a detail I have to flesh out with a different paint somewhere else. All right, the second coat is going on. A bit less streaky. I am very happy. It seems to be less on the street. At least the leaves are less streaky. Number two. Those leaves. The vine, I, we'll see. I need to sharpen up for the vine. So far, so good. Kind of going down one side of the vine. Almost trying to kind of float this paint on a bit more than I did the first time. So that it kind of smooths out. Honestly, like, it being a vine, I'm kind of okay with there being some more texture there. Like on the literal vine. On the leaves, that was annoying. And I see I got that wonky stray bristle. Got some of that dark paint. Clean that. I kind of don't mind it back here, but I'm gonna try to get it anyway. It's nice that the other has like dried just enough that I can do that. But I think if I were to like take a cloth with water and this whole thing would go. I think I'm gonna do another layer on top of just the leaves. Because like I said, they're the ones that I really kind of find if they're streaky. The vine itself is if it's if you can see the way because I want the leaves to be like leaves. You know, they're not that textured. They're pretty smooth. That. All right. I think this is really coming along. All right. I'm going to move on to the brown. I'm going to do what I did with the green, where I use a tiny little brush to get around the already painted details. And then the slightly larger brush, the kit brush, to make it less brush, bigger brush. Okay, just the light that I can see a bit better. Okay, all right, we're good. So I'm very hunched over doing this. I'll have, it's not great, honestly, but what else? I feel like I'll definitely need more coats of this because I don't think Tiana's skin is that light. This is really like cappuccino brown, where she appears to be more of a mocha. But and I'm just going off of this. Like, look how dark she is there. That's not. I don't know. I think with a few coats, it'll be closer, but I was originally thinking that when all this was done, I was going to coat her in glossy, but I might just coat her in matte. I think that would be more appropriate for this character. And then Ariel will be glossy because the mermaid, she's wet. Just makes more sense. Trying to like maneuver the end of my brush around my lights. I have a diffuser cloth on one of these lights, and it's too big for the light. I can find one small enough, so it's just baggy. No. I may have to touch that up later. I mean, so far this is working out the way I intended. And the reason I'm kind of just doing that is just to like soften the lines for when I do the whole. Yeah, I'm just going right over the necklace. For when I do the whole paint color, there's that kind of like less hard streaks dried to deal with. It's just that first coat to build on. Not worried about getting hair because, all that area up there is going to be black. So I'm really not concerned. In fact, with her face, the only thing I'm concerned about is staying out of her eyes. Everything else can easily be fixed, except for getting color where there should be none. So I am taking my glasses off. I'm going to be all up in here so that I can see for sure that I don't get it in her eyes. I'm noticing now too that her mouth is open, so I'm trying to avoid the white inside her mouth where it's clearly teeth. Like I'm gonna have to go back and get a. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and get color out of my paints that will work for her lips. Use all that water. Get her teeth up. They need to stay white. All right. Yeah. Well, I want my painting, but I'm going to this one. Get my glasses back on so I can see it too. Looks a little horrifying, but I avoided her teeth and her eyeballs. Now I could get it a little closer on her lip, and I'm trying to just so that there's like a base layer of paint. That texture stick. Super worried about getting brown where black hair is gonna be. Just want to get that light base coat to build on. Oh, son of a bitch. There we go. One slip, man. Sometimes it's one slip and it's all, you know, a little hard. And see, that up. Oh, got it. That water out though. that. Let's see if I can get the water. Kind of. Oh, actually, avoided a lot of the brush strokes, base. It's not always working. So, really hope I can get some of that up. Yeah. Really hope I can get some of this up. It has been nearly 3 hours, so I think this is a plane that we are gonna land, and I will film the rest of the painting of her face and put it on. But that's where we're at after 3 hours real time painting. So this is easily finished in an afternoon. We're gonna be done with this puppy by dinner time. So I will say to all of you, let me do that. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks again. Next week, we will go in on Ariel. I will maybe do something to get her prepped faster um, so that it doesn't take quite so long. But we'll see where we are. And thank you for joining me. Please join me next week when we paint Ariel. And check out my shorts. There's a lot of nail polish comparisons in my shorts right now. And I will probably be doing more of those. If you like those, definitely give them a thumbs up. Follow me on social media. You can see at the top there, my Twitter is TrishaLyn. My Instagram is iTrishaLyn. And thanks. Interact with me. Tell me what you want to see. And I will see you guys next time for another craft. Bye.